Welcome back to CRC's Garage. Today we're going to be working on the Neon. We're 2 days away from the autocross school that I'm signed up for. So we're going to install the parts that did come in. The rear sway bar, the part I really wanted to come in, hasn't come in yet. And of course it's the shipping or the tracking number shows that it'll show up Monday. So it is what it is. We'll put it on for the next event. But we'll install the parts that did come in. And that's what we're going to do in this episode. So these are strut tower braces. These go across the strut towers for the front and the rear. This one's the rear one. This one's the front one. It helps to stiffen up the unibody. They weren't too expensive and they were in stock. It seems like the car's 20 years old, so parts are drying up and it's hard to find stuff. So as I see parts and if I have the money for it, I'm trying to grab them as I can. So but that's what we're going to be doing today. Like I said earlier, the rear sway bars is what I really wanted to show up, but of course that hasn't showed up yet. But we'll install that when that comes in. But we'll get these on. I don't know how much of a difference they'll make without sway bars, but I mean, stiffening up the unibody, I don't think you could go wrong. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. Let's get to it. So it looks like the front strut tower brace is going to be pretty straightforward. I just got to loosen those two nuts on the strut on each side, slide this in place, and then retorque those nuts down. That's all there is to that. The rear one's a little bit more complicated, but not much. So on the back here, the carpet is in the way. So I don't know if I'm going to completely remove this, because I'm sure it's a little bit of sound deadening. And like I said, it's still a street car. I might just trim around, trim the carpet out around where the strut's going to go, or the strut brace is going to go. I got this side loose. Pull this down. And I got to trim that heavy rubber mat, sound deadening. Yeah, gotta just trim that out around the strut tower bolts, and then install the strut bar and retighten the bolts. And there's really all there is to that. So they're not too complicated to either one. So let me get to it. So I just used a little razor blade to trim the carpet out around the bucket was molded into the carpet, and I just trimmed that out. So I thought that would give it the cleanest look. But got both sides done, and the bar drops right in. There you go. That's all there is to the rear strut tower brace, and the front one's just as easier. So just gotta do that one. First I'm gonna replace the rubber brake lines. We're going to a braided stainless, so I don't want to put the front strut bar on yet, because it makes it more difficult to get to the reservoir for the master cylinder. Master cylinder's right here, and the strut bar goes right across here, so it makes it not impossible to get to, but it's just more difficult. So I'm going to replace the brake lines, the rubber brake lines at the wheel, with stainless steel braided lines first, so I can top off my reservoir quicker and bleed the brakes easier without that being in the way. And then we'll put that on 2 bolts and it's done. I was in a rush to get the car back together, but I forgot to mention, I forgot to give a shot of the rear brake setup, and I forgot to mention that the stock wheels from the Neon did clear the SRT4 calipers without any wheel spacers. So it was just the front that needed the wheel spacers. But this is what we're doing today, is replacing the rubber line with a braided stainless steel line. Just trying to get a little bit more pedal feel out of the car. The braided stainless steel brake line is on, and all we got to do is bleed them again. So with the strut tower braces, now we're starting to add weight to the car, and I really want to try and keep the car the same weight, if not take some off of the car. So now we're going to have to start coming up with ideas on where we could take some of the weight out of the car without affecting its daily driver duty too much. And that's going to be difficult because, of course, there's a lot of sound deadening and stuff like that you could take out, but then you're compromising, and it's not going to be as pleasant to drive on the road and stuff. But I forgot to weigh the rear one, but the rear one was lighter than the front one. But I wanted to see how much weight we are adding to the car, and it looks like with the front strut tower brace, it's 6 pounds 2 ounces, and the rear one was a little bit less. So we'll say we're adding 12 pounds just to be on the safe side. So now we're gonna try to figure out where we could shave some weight off of the car to try and keep it the same weight. So yeah, that's my goal anyway, so we'll see what we could come up with. Front strut tower brace is on. The only thing of note that we had to do was bend the bracket for the cruise control out of the way of one of the bars here. We just bent it so it fit between the two bars. Other than that, it dropped right on. So these are faded. This was the worst of it. This is the back passenger side door. The front one's starting to fade across the top, but they're just the rub strips. Try to reduce door dings in the parking lot and stuff like that. But we'll pull these off and see how much we could save with weight there. But there, you pull that off, and what you need is a strip wheel. And the wheel, it feels like an eraser on a pencil, and you're just going to go down and remove the leftover double-sided tape. Some of it might roll off with just my finger, but I'll use that on anything that's stubborn that won't come off. I'll go around and do that to all 4 doors, get rid of that stuff. You just got to be careful when using the strip wheel. You don't want to sit in one spot too long, because this thing generates a lot of heat, and you can ruin your paint if you sit in one spot too long. But you can see that's what it looks like. I washed the car after I ripped off that bumper to get the dirt off, and then I used the strip wheel here to remove the leftover double-sided tape. And you can see where it was rubbing against the paint a little bit, because there's a little bit of a line in the paint, but it's fine. But yeah, just take your time, and for the most part you can remove those bumpers pretty easily, and you can't even tell that they were there sometimes if it wasn't rubbing in the paint like mine did. I think it looks better without the bump strip on there. The car will need to be painted someday, but it's not bad for now. Removing those bumpers from the door, it wasn't going to be much, but it saved 2 pounds, so instead of being in the hole 12 pounds from adding the strut tower braces, we're only in the hole 10 pounds. So we're going in the right direction. Just gotta figure out something else to remove. Alright, so we're gonna finish off this video with a fuel economy run. We haven't done one in a while because we were trying to, we were rushing to get everything back together so we could do the autocross stuff. But I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold, and it's raining out too, so it's not ideal. I don't know if the rain's going to skew the results at all, but we're going to give it a shot and see what our fuel economy is with the crank pulley, the underdrive crank pulley, and the 180-degree thermostat and the MSD coil. I think that was the stuff we added, and the fixed head gasket, since the last time we did a fuel economy run. So let's go see. I'll see you back here. I'll go do my loop, and then I'll see you back here when we do the calculate the results. So I think we are down a little bit fuel economy wise. I just finished a loop, so we got 34.8 miles a gallon, and that's probably could be due to the weather, the rain, and some probably to that 180-degree thermostat. It's not getting as hot, so it's running probably a little bit richer, is my guess. So I think that's it for now. Please subscribe. We got some engine builds coming up on the channel. They're going to take some time and money, but I think it'll be a fun build. So please subscribe.